This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 51 of the Healthy Critters Radio on the Horse Radio Network. Healthy Critters Radio is brought to you by Biostar US. Find them online at biostarus.com.
On today's show, we share our favorite charities. The breed of the show is the Argente rabbit. Hedwig decides she wants to be a Supreme Court judge. Critter Nutrition covers the benefit of increased circulation for horses. And in Coffee Clatch, we share our best holiday stress tips. And we're going to in lieu of a guest, we're going to talk.
Nobody wants to talk to us this week.
That's true. They're all talked out from the Radiothon.
They are.
We're going to talk about our favorite charities to give this time of year in the giving season. And at the top of my personal list are environmental charities. So I usually go to Charity Navigator. And if you don't use it, I highly recommend it. It rates all the charities. And the highest rating, I think, is 4 stars. And those are the charities that I first focus on. And it gives you a breakdown of how they spend their money. And it's very interesting. Yeah, because then you can see some of these charities that are like, the 2 stars. The CEO makes, 30% of everything that they raise, which is just outrageous.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool. It's free. Just Google Charity Navigator.
I didn't even know they had that. That's pretty cool. It's
very cool. And you can check out, when people contact you to give money, go to Charity Navigator. So American Forests, the Ocean Conservancy, I do Yellowstone and the Grand Canyon Trust. And there's one very cool thing about American Forests is that if you have a friend or a loved one that has passed, you can, with your donation, they will plant X number of trees in honor of your loved one.
Oh, wow.
It's really, really cool. So I give that a lot as gifts. My aunt lost her husband and my mother lost my dad. And so I give every year to American Forests in their name. And then they get a card from American Forests saying 100 trees are being planted in the name of.
That is so cool. Tigger, you are a good person.
Well, thanks.
That's pretty cool. Like I just didn't. I'm looking up the
Charity Navigator.
I had no idea. This is pretty awesome, and so easy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so useful because, one of the reasons people can be hesitant to give to a charity, regardless of what time of the year it is they don't feel comfortable that their donation is being used productively.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a great way for anybody to go in and go, well, I can check out charity X, Y, or Z or surf through them and find one that uses the donations in a productive way that I feel comfortable with. Yeah.
I mean, it's the first thing it shows up is just the score it gets and whatever, all the charities and stuff. Because that's always honestly been my biggest thing because I always do very like local things. Like I do it through my church, like during Christmas and stuff. I like to give, we buy toys and every church generally has like a tree or the giving tree or something. You'll take a kid's name or you'll do whatever. And it's so simple to, I go to Walmart and I just buy tons of toys and bring them back. And it's such a simple thing. But this is kind of cool. Like I just looked down here and they had stuff from even Hurricane Harvey. I had no idea. And you can see how it's rated. So that's pretty cool. Thank you, Tigger, for teaching me that. I would think that's pretty neat.
We have to make sure that we put a link to
for sure
on our show notes page.
Yep, for sure.
Episode. Yep.
And what kind of charities do you like to give or would like to give, Jennifer?
I have a propensity for staying local. I did, what's it called? Heifer International. I did that one year, which is one of those organizations that provides small livestock to developing countries to the families.
Oh yeah,
like give a goat, give a chicken.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
Yeah,
Heifer
it was cool.
International.
I was like, oh, that's really neat. Yeah, but I never went back a second time, and this is why. Once they had gotten a hold of my contact information, it was non-stop. Just every day, something in the email. Every week, something in the mail. So they kind of made a pest of themselves. So I didn't go back.
Yeah.
No,
but but I can understand that.
It's a real problem that charities need to be aware of.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? It's a real balancing act. Yeah. One of the ones I really love is Habitat for Humanity. Because I feel strongly about people. I love their mantra that you participate in your growth and your success. So that speaks to me personally. So that's one of mine. And frequently it's a local charity that usually has to do with youth making the best of their situation and moving up in life. Colby's Army is one that is run by one of our part-time hosts on the Horse Radio Network, Lisa Wysocki. And it helps at-risk youth and youth with learning disabilities. So we're pretty much an annual there. They're a really cool group. They're in Tennessee. It's just a little tiny program. And I enjoy giving to the little tiny program that doesn't have much of a budget to get the word out. It's like, well, I know about you, so I am going to donate because I already know about you. You don't have to spend a nickel to get mine.
Yeah.
Now, who was the charity that the Radiothon was raising money for?
I'm trying to remember the name of it. I should go over here to radiothon.com. It is an agency in Ohio that cares for foster children. And what they do is they foster out children and they facilitate adoptions for children in Ohio. And what they do is they have a special fund so that the children who are in foster care or are in group homes can have Christmas presents because their normal operating budget does not provide for gifts. That's for getting sneakers to go to school in.
Right.
So they can get gifts, and then anything that they have left goes into the annual budget to help special cases. For example, a young person who is in foster care or a group home is accepted to a college or wants to visit a college that they would like to attend. They can help finance that because frequently the foster parents can't afford that and the group home doesn't have a budget for that. They're graduating from high school or college or high school and they need a cap and gown to attend their graduation. They will fund getting the cap and gown rented and things like that, so that as these youth move through the system and find successes, they can help just grease the wheels a little bit.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. That's very cool.
You know, I every week for the last 2 years, when I go to the grocery store, I buy food at one grocery store, I buy it for the Blue Ridge Food Bank. And at Whole Foods, I buy it for the emergency food bank.
Oh, cool. So they get real good food too.
And it's so rewarding to walk down the aisle and go, okay, if I didn't have something, what would be really essential that I would need to get from the emergency food bank? And sometimes I come up with themes like an Italian dinner or a Mexican dinner.
Oh,
I mean, not no meats, but all the fixings.
Yeah. Glenn and I have lived by this for years and years, and he learned it from one of his mentors from before I met him, and I can't remember the guy's name. It's a really long Italian name. That the best thing when you're having a tough time in your life is to have a family feast, and that's so great that you do that for people, because so many people if you're depending on the emergency food bank, you're having a tough time.
Yeah.
To be able to get good quality, comforting foods like that, that's excellent.
Yeah, that is excellent. That's pretty cool.
And it's such an easy thing to do. You're already there.
Yep.
You're already buying stuff.
Yep.
So you pick up a little extra, and then when you're leaving, you put it in the bin. You put it in the bin.
Yeah.
That's a great. I like that. I'm going to take that on. I like that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big, like the all the stuff that we do is always through our church. Food drives. But these are all such great. You guys are giving me such great other ideas to do. Because we always end up doing more things locally, and this is just.
The food bank is certainly local,
and that's huge.
Yes, yeah, everybody has a local food bank, absolutely.
Because you don't know who you're affecting. You could be somebody you see all the time, in public somewhere. You may be helping that person. So,
and I always, when I'm checking out, and sometimes I separate them. I say, this is for the food bank, and if the clerk says something, like, wow, that's a really nice thing to do. My response is, there for the grace of God go I. It could be me that needs to go to the emergency food bank tomorrow, next week, next month, next year.
Yeah.
And the other thing I do this time of year is I'm a secret Santa, and I go and pay off layaways.
Oh, how cool.
It's so fun.
Wow.
I want to be your friend.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Okay, you're giving me tons of ideas. You're also making me realize there's so much more that I could be doing. That's
and it's
cool.
Easy.
Yeah. Yes, that's really easy. Now, how do you find places to go to do that?
Okay, so Walmart, if you still have a Kmart, if you still have a Sears, all those places have layaways. And last year, I was in Kmart doing layaways, and you go back into the layaway room and you say you're the Secret Santa, and ladies get very excited. And I always want to buy, the people who have layaways that are toys and kids, and we were going through them, and you have to do each transaction, is one. They don't put it all together. And this husband and wife came up, and I stepped away because that transaction was done. And they had a whole bunch of things for their kids. And they were talking between themselves about, and the clerk said, well, you owe this much money. And the wife looked, and she said, well, I guess we won't be able to get so-and-so's cake for her birthday if we do this. And I just stepped right in. I said, I'll take care of it.
Wow.
Everybody should have a cake. It's about cake. Hedwig said so.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's pretty awesome.
And they cried, and I cried, and the staff cried, and we were all hugging, and it was just, and they were so shocked.
Oh, I'm sure.
And that just filled my heart.
Oh, I bet it did. It just filled my heart.
So a lot of these layaways can be like $50. That's all they have left on it. I mean, we're not talking about hundreds and thousands of dollars. These are generally small purchases that they've been paying on.
So what do you do? Go to the layaway people and say,
I want to be a Secret Santa. And they say, well, what do you want to do? And I'm focused on toys and things
okay, that's helpful.
That haven't been paid. It's getting closer to the holidays, and then they start just bringing you, and they'll read you out. Well, they've got a Barbie, and they've got a this and a that, and
Wow.
Yeah, and then you pay it, and then they notify them. They never know who you are, which is great.
Yeah.
And imagine the phone call.
Oh,
your layaway was just paid off. Come and get your stuff.
I get excited when the person ahead of me already paid for my Starbucks in line. I can't imagine getting a layaway.
Yeah.
I get excited about that. Well,
I
that's
want that
so
to happen
cool.
when I go to the hay store. I want the guy in front of me to pay for my hay as I come through. I think that's a good
that needs to
trend.
be on your wish list.
That needs to be something new. That needs to become a thing.
Yeah.
So, well, maybe you start it.
That's true.
Yeah, there we go.
Pay
As long as the guy behind me does not have a dually. If he's driving a Kia, I can pay for
or a
his hay.
sedan,
Or a sedan,
like an old Honda.
Or if you're in Ocala, he might be driving a Jaguar.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Or you could have a limit. I'll buy one bale of hay.
So don't be afraid to
just ask.
Step out of your comfort zone and
these are awesome
Such
ideas.
Great local ideas, yeah.
And I wonder if any of the listeners have any ideas that they do, because we certainly could put it up on our Facebook page and share that with us.
And what's the Facebook page again, Tigger?
Healthy Critters Radio.
There you go. Go to Healthy Critters Radio on Facebook, hit the like button, and then go down there and post on there your favorite way to be a giving person during the holidays. Maybe you donate time.
Yeah.
Something else that's always needed. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
There we go.
Cool.
So just brace yourself.
Hi, Hetty.
That was
Hello.
funny.
Don't even bother asking me questions. I have ideas. I wish to discuss them. Just sit down and buckle up.
Well, wait 1 second, because Jennifer has news for you.
Okay, hi, Jennifer. It better be nice news.
Greetings, Hedwig. You sound as if you have had a lovely day already. Have you been hitting up the red wine, perhaps?
I am not allowed to have alcohol, Jennifer. Besides, with my charming personality, I have no need to have social inhibitions removed.
So there.
Well, this is liable to be a little bit dangerous for those of us who call you on the phone and interview you, but we are getting early reviews back in from the Horse Radio Network Holiday Radiothon, which happened on Cyber Monday. And early reports seem to indicate that the Healthy Critters Radio Hour, and in particular, Hedwig, were the most popular in the entire radiothon.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say duh, but I will. Duh.
We have likened your relationship with Glenn as a episode on Seinfeld.
I would like Glenn if he weren't such a toad.
So it's safe to say at this point, Hedwig, that you are the most popular Pomeranian in podcasting. We're going to get you a T-shirt to that effect.
She's a popular Pomeranian podcaster.
Yes.
Say that fast 3 times.
PPP.
Well, duh. But if I may just direct people to my Facebook page, because I want more likes than Grumpy Cat.
Well, what is your Facebook page?
Yes, what is your Facebook page?
Ask Hedwig.
Ask Hedwig. Okay.
That's my Facebook page, yes. Mm-hmm. And if you go on the page, you can like it, which really means you like me. And I post as often as I can stand the service.
News personality. Have you guys seen this? It's his news personality. This is great. I just liked it, Hetty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh God, this is hysterical. This is just hysterical.
This is the Facebook page.
Yes, it is absolutely worth liking just to see the first couple posts.
There are lots of photos.
Yes, there are, Hetty. There are. And every one is just worth it. Okay.
Many people do not actually know how cute I am. It's an opportunity for them.
You're right.
You're right, it is.
Oh boy, these are good.
There we go. Well, in honor of Ask Hedwig the Facebook page, we are going to ask you the question of the show. And here is our question. Would you rather be Santa's elf or Santa's reindeer?
Neither.
How did I know he would say that?
What do you want to be?
Do you want to be the abominable snowman instead?
Yes,
There we go.
Of course.
but really, if I may tell you what I've been thinking recently, which I know you do want to know, even though you've not really asked me. I know you want to know, and you were just too shy. I have recently been thinking about becoming a Supreme Court justice.
Well, we could use you on the high court, that's for sure.
Well, so I just want to give you an example of why my mind is well suited to a legal case. So currently, as you know, well, you should know anyway, there is this person who didn't want to bake a cake because people were gay. For some reason, the court wants it to be about civil rights, or it wants to be about businesses or First Amendment. Let me clarify what this is about. It's about cake. So
Cake.
get right down to it. If you are a cake baker, you bake cakes. Yes, that's what you do. That's how you roll. See, that was a pun, a bakery pun, roll. Anyway, if you were to bake a cake and then you were to sell the cake, it would be successful. And then you would have money and you could give it to small dogs. And there would be cake. So the way I see things, and it's really very simple. Bake the cake, then you're a baker. It's really about fulfilling your own claim to professional status. So if my servant claimed to be a servant but did not serve, she would not be a servant. If you are a cake person and you don't cake, then there's no cake and you're not a cake person.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Got
So
it. Absolutely.
I have been recently revisiting some important historical Supreme Court cases as well. For example, Buck versus Bell, in which Oliver Wendell Holmes memorably said 3 generations of imbeciles is enough. Now, he used this to legitimize sterilizing people, which was rude. But I think his quote is still meaningful today. So 3 generations of imbeciles is enough.
Okay. Well,
There we go. Well, thank you for that little history lesson,
Yes.
Hedwig.
Yes, yes.
who knew?
You might not know that Supreme Court decision still stands. In fact, the federal government reserves the right to sterilize you at will.
Oh,
It's good to know.
Good to know.
Good to know.
Yes, and the last state laws that were relevant to that case were only removed in the 70s.
Wow.
okay.
Wow. You are well on your way to becoming a Supreme Court justice, Hedwig.
Yes.
And we appreciate you enlightening us regarding these very heady topics, pun intended. And thank you. You know what we're going to do next time, Hetty? We're going to get together. We're going to ask you how to solve the conflict in the Middle East, because you've got all the answers. So think on that,
do.
and we'll cover it
We're
next
ready.
time. Yeah,
I've got a plan for the whole situation.
I'm sure
Oh.
you do, Hetty. Well, thanks a bunch, and you have
Thanks,
a
Patty.
bye-bye.
Bye, Hetty.
And now it's time for the breed of the show.
We are now at the Breed of the Show segment of our program, and we are on a rabbit path. Because, Tigger, I don't know about you, I have never really had rabbits. So
I had a rabbit
You did?
when I was a kid. I got him for Easter.
Oh, that's right. I think you told me this before. Well, I haven't had any, so I'm really learning.
It's about
the whole-
time.
I know, right? Well, my son Ray helped me pick out the breed, and he really enjoyed researching it. Because this really is the best part about doing this for me, is I get to learn about all different types of stuff. But so we are doing what's called an Argente, and Argente is a very adorable little rabbit. They come in a ton of different colors, which is kind of the neat thing, but they just have the fluffiest skin, and they're or not skin, fur, but they're probably, they look very similar. Unfortunately, this time of year, and I hate this, I go into a feed store and they're pushing rabbits because Christmas is coming up. And of course, everybody's going to get pets for Christmas, which is not the time to do it. You should wait until it's not a holiday season. But anyway, they originally were from France. They were imported to North America around the 1930s and into the 40s, and they weren't originally very well received. But then really took the American population really started to enjoy them because they're very affectionate, playful rabbits, which I don't know much about rabbits, but is the better you socialize them, the better they are, affectionate and good pets. And because they come in so many different colors, I mean, a ton of different colors, like dark slate blue, bluish white, cream, champagne, all these fun different colors. But they are, as far as personality, they're, pretty easygoing. They're a good pet. They like, they're even tempered. They like to be cuddled. They're good with kids, but again, as I'm understanding as I'm learning more and more about them, you have to socialize them. You can't just pick them up and, not like, kind of like a kitten. So you've got to get them more, used to being picked up. And they're relatively hardy. So you can, have some people like to have their rabbits in or out. You can definitely have them in or out. They make a great pet either way. Of course, you should look up as to, you just don't put them in a crate outside. You have to have a nice little hut for them. They basically live off of pretty, easy diet, a nice quality hay. And there's, you can get rabbit pellets, which are generally high fiber in your at your local feed store. But they, their basic care requirements are they really do need to have plenty outside time, which is kind of funny because I'd never really thought about rabbits needing to stretch their legs. I mean, did you think about that, Tigger, when you had your rabbit, that you had to exercise it?
No.
Yeah. And I like this. Because I try to go to a couple different places to read more about this, but yeah, they say they need plenty of outside time, of course, in an enclosure because they'll take off, but an enclosed area. They're very popular because their personality and temperament are, like I said, they would be a good apartment pet. If you want to have an animal, but are an apartment and you don't want to get a dog, this type of rabbit, an Argente, would be great because they adapt well to different situations, and they come in so many different colors. And I just can't get over this. I mean, it's like I can't even name them all, and you're supposed to say them in French. Do you know what I mean?
Can you describe them? The different colors?
Well, there's. Do you want me to say them in French? I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah, it would be bad. Well, these are just to name a few. There's blue, brown, cream, champagne, black, and the list can go on. But they actually, when we first started looking them up, and I'm not sure I understand this, but they have like the Argente Claire, and that's a different type. That's more of I think a champagne color, and some of them have different characteristics, which is interesting just because of their color. That they're different.
And they would be easy to clean up after.
Yeah, that's an excellent point too. They're very easy to clean up after, especially if you look up different type of rabbit cages. Like some of them have a wire top, that all the droppings.
I was just thinking of them hopping around the living room.
Of course you were. Well, I mean, how many little pellets
exactly.
They can't be that hard to pick up.
Right? And they eat mostly fiber, which means that they're not smelly.
Yeah. Well, and they describe their coat as being short and it's dense, but it's really glossy and soft. And it just made me think, wow, maybe this is something to look into. But it sounds just like a great little pet. And, and if you're looking to get a rabbit, if you go to a local feed store, normally the people there are somewhat, well informed about how, what their diet should be, because there are definite diet things you don't want to give them. Not this particular breed, but in general, because you don't want to overfeed them. These guys get up to about 8 pounds, which is not that big. I'm trying to think. I mean, that's probably the size of what a medium-sized cat. Would that make sense, Tigger?
That's
right?
Pretty small, 8 pounds.
Yeah, I guess it's smaller than a medium-sized cat, but they're tiny. So you'd have to be careful if you have small children, because their bones.
I was thinking you have to be careful if you have big dogs.
Well, the point of this was, if you can't get a dog, get a rabbit. But if you have 5 Aussies, it's an excellent point. Needless to say, do your research before getting a pet, and don't have a lot of big dogs if you're going to end up with a rabbit in your house. Note to self.
Here we are at Critter Nutrition, and we're going to talk about the benefits of increased circulation for horses. The body circulation system is responsible for sending blood, oxygen, and nutrients throughout the body. When blood flow is reduced, the body's ability to heal and repair is diminished. Increased blood flow is a significant benefit that allows the vascular highways to deliver oxygen and nutrients more efficiently. Increased circulation can help reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. The benefits of increased circulation improves oxygenation of the tissues, removes toxins and metabolic waste, enhances the healing process, reduces inflammation and oxidative stress, can help older horses move with less stiffness, particularly in cold weather, helps horses with osteoarthritis move more comfortably. The role of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a key signaling molecule in the body. It is a powerful vasodilator. The endothelium, which is the inner lining of blood vessels, uses nitric oxide to signal the surrounding smooth muscles to relax, thus resulting in increased blood flow. The amino acid arginine is a substrate for nitric oxide production. Specific foods such as pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, oranges, and nutritional yeast provide high amounts of arginine for nitric oxide production. Recent research has been on Indian gooseberry and circulation. One of the most widely used plants in Ayurvedic medicine is amla, also known as Indian gooseberry. It has been used on animals and humans for thousands of years. 8 recently published studies on a specific patented extract from Indian gooseberry called capros have demonstrated this plant's remarkable ability to increase nitric oxide production by 54% and increase the super antioxidant glutathione by 50%. Glutathione is known as the mother of all antioxidants. It supports the regulation of cell growth and division, protects DNA from oxidative stress, helps with amino acid transport in and out of the cell, and supports the humoral immune function. Research has shown that capros reduce levels of inflammatory biomarkers and improved endothelial function. This is really important because a study published September 29, 2016, showed that endothelial dysfunction associated with hormonal conditions such as metabolic syndrome or Cushing's disease affect the laminar vessels and facial skin arteries of the horse. By improving endothelial function by relaxation via nitric oxide, there is increased blood flow and circulation. For performance horses, when horses exercise, nitric oxide is released, which increases blood flow to the muscles and organs, to the heart, and to the lungs. Nitric oxide is a short-lived molecule, so the longer it circulates, the greater the benefit to the cell's heart, lungs, and nervous system and muscles. Supplementing horses with foods and plants that increase nitric oxide can improve daily training and performance by reducing muscle fatigue, removing lactic acid, increasing oxygenation of muscles, and delivering more nutrients to the cells. Because nitric oxide plays an important role in healing via increased circulation, repair of muscles and connective tissues can be enhanced. Since the Indian gooseberry extract capros increases glutathione, this critical antioxidant is important in the production of ATP. Lower amounts of glutathione in the cells can slow down ATP production, resulting in fatigue. Furthermore, the recovery phase of training requires glutathione to mop up the free radicals. The free radicals can create inflammation unless regulated by potent antioxidants such as glutathione. Circulation for healing. Nitric oxide can modulate the release of various inflammatory mediators, leukocytes, macrophages, mast cells, endothelial cells, and platelets. In relaxing the blood vessels, more nutrients are delivered to the area of the body that needs them. This is especially important for ligament and tendon injuries, muscle and joint injuries, and support. Hoof and heart. As the heart beats, blood is sent throughout the body. The heart is the key organ of the circulatory system. The feet are also responsible for pumping blood back up to the heart. Inflammation in the foot will reduce the amount of circulation returning to the rest of the body and the heart. Nitric oxide helps recirculate by relaxing the smooth muscles, allowing for more blood flow. This is especially important to maintain healthy feet and to help with foot issues such as navicular bursa inflammation, bruising, and laminitis. Joints. Increasing circulation in the body is beneficial for joints, particularly joints affected by osteoarthritis. When nitric oxide levels are increased in the body, that helps to remove damaging waste products, reduce inflammation, while also helping to support muscles and connective tissue. Older horses in wintertime can benefit from supplementation that supports circulation because these horses aren't moving around as much as in the summer, and they can also benefit from the warming aspects of increased circulation, that therefore keeping them more comfortable and supple. Biostar is the first equine supplement company to incorporate the nitric oxide enhancing capros in a formula called Circuvate. Blended with other nitric oxide supporting foods such as pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds makes this supplement an important component in maintaining healthy, sound horses.
Real horses and real dogs are healthier, perform better, and recover more quickly on real food. That's why Biostar empowers horse and canine owners with 100% whole food nutrition, supplements, and feeding programs. Biostar products are made at their own certified non-GMO facility in Gordonsville, Virginia, using real food ingredients that are raw, freeze-dried, or dehydrated, never cooked, and are free from artificial flavors, colors, soy, corn, wheat, and molasses. The Biostar product line includes a wide range of whole food, horse and dog supplements, treats, and unique artisan poultices that embrace the ancient and traditional uses of clay and plants. Visit biostarus.com today and learn about whole foods and canine and equine nutrition so you can make the best decisions about the care and health of your horses and dogs. That's biostarus.com. Whole food nutrition the way nature intended.
So we're at Coffee Klatch, and it seems like a really good time to talk about our best holiday de-stress tips. And I think it's important to talk about de-stressing because animals pick up our stress.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs are very sensitive to it. Cats are sensitive to it, and horses are really sensitive to it.
Yeah.
So one of my basic de-stress tips is a herb called Tulsi, Tulsi, and also known as holy basil. And this wonderful little company called Organic India makes these fantastic teas with Tulsi. And especially around this time of year, sometimes I have a very hard time sleeping from stress. And they make a wonderful tea called Tulsi tea. And I think it's called Tulsi Sleep, or anyway, Organic India Tulsi Sleep. and I make a pot. I mean, I'll make a cup of tea, and by the time I've had half of it, I add a little honey and some lemon. Boy, I'm ready. I'm so relaxed, ready to go to sleep, and I have a good night's sleep. So that's my first tip. What's one of yours, Patty?
Well, one of the things that I just love to do, and it's finally
Other than drinking wine.
Right. Well, I haven't been drinking that much wine recently, but I love, like, one of my son and my favorite thing to do this time of year is we watch the 25 Days of Christmas. So we'll kind of like get our dinner, and we'll sit on the couch together, and and sometimes they're not as fun to watch, but just sitting there with him and enjoying that, kind of like that, really kind of decompresses me. I turn off my phone. I won't answer anything, whatever. And I that type of just spending time with my family, doing that type of stuff, just really helps me stay more grounded and connected.
Mm-hmm.
And if that doesn't work, I drink a lot of gin. I'm kidding. No, but I try, it's so easy to not, to try to like run through the day and then not spend time. But that's like I think it always starts the 1st of December, and Ray is always like, okay, today is, the 25 days. And it's just always, that to me, it just grounds me so much. And I love watching Christmas movies.
How about you, Jennifer?
Oh, Christmas movies.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man. Because that is absolutely one of my favorites. It's got to be, you heard it before, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the original animated version.
Yep.
And there's probably 6 or 7 different holiday movies that, for Glenn and I, it's a tradition, we must watch those.
Now, do you consider that a de-stressor?
Oh, absolutely.
Like Patty does. Okay.
Absolutely. We just sit down and we'll make a big bowl of popcorn and get a glass of lemonade, and it's a harkens back sort of thing, in that the ones that are our favorites they represent something wonderful, some wonderful point in our lives, I think.
Yeah.
And we look forward to it. It's one of the things like, oh, Christmas is coming. We get to watch The Muppets Christmas again.
Mm-hmm.
And we know the whole movie by heart. So it's, you just sit there and you giggle
quote the
about
lines.
it. We know all the lines, all the songs. And it's fun because as you get to watch them over and over and over again, you look for stuff that's going on in the background and what breed of dog Yukon Cornelius has and things like that. So definitely.
Oh, that's how she knew that.
Watching holiday movies is a biggie for us. Absolutely.
Yeah. Love that.
I don't have a tree or anything. No decorations. Don't send Christmas cards.
Sounds like you do a lot of other stuff.
That's de-stressing right there. Do not send Christmas cards. It's stressful.
It is.
Just putting that out there.
I just can't keep up with it. So I just gave up on it. But the one thing that I've learned that really, really helps is to focus on something other than the pressure of the holiday. So I personally get pressure because I have to, my family, I don't live near any family. And so I have to wrap everything early and send everything early. And, there's that just, I get a lot of stress from that. Will it get there on time? And, and I find that by focusing, even while I'm wrapping, on really fun Christmases past that had nothing to do with presents or anything, but was more the people that I saw, the snow on the ground, the expectation of a little kid, when's Santa coming? And that kind of takes the worry, the pressure, the stress away from trying to get everything done really fast and on time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a hard time of year. And as my middle daughter just moved out and moved back to Virginia, and getting everybody coordinated and trying to figure out if you can see them and not see them, how it's going to work. That's a lot of stress. I mean, it's hard to not make all of that a big deal, and finding the things that ground you, I think, are pretty crucial.
And the animals are key.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I agree.
Yep.
Now, there are a few stressors that I find are very good to avoid.
I can think of one.
And that is, I don't bring up politics or religion when I'm in public.
Good thing.
At Christmas parties, whatever. I really stay away from that, and I think that's wise. I also have found that it's wise, if you don't drink, like I don't drink, to not say, oh, well, I'll just give the spiked eggnog a shot to be polite, and end up, 3 sheets to the wind with only 4 or 5 sips.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's those are my basic.
You may think you're funny when you're drunk, but not everyone else does.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I'm funny. I think I'm just stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That is very.
What
funny.
other stressors do you guys avoid? What are some of your?
You know what I stress about, and this is not just holidays, but I get so stressed out when I have to go visit family, because whenever we go visit family, it's this gang of people because we're coming to visit, right? And I just don't like large gatherings of people. It's not my thing. And I found that if I know there's going to be something to do when I'm there, I'm a little bit less stressed about it. And particularly when I see my dad's side of the family, because my mom and my dad are both remarried, and so we have 2 sets of everything. They're big on card games and board games and things like that. So we're very apt to, during a holiday gathering, everybody sit around the table and play Uno or something. And I find if I have that in my suitcase, my mental suitcase, I'm a lot less stressed about family gatherings. So my advice is, if that's something that stresses you out, sitting around and staring at each other and speaking awkwardly to people you don't see very often, or speaking awkwardly to people that you don't like very much, even though they're your relatives, sometimes having something to actually do can be a real stress reliever, like, Uno or 3-second rule or Pictionary.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, and this is something I just came up with this year. Glenn and I have been watching a TV show called Finding Your Roots. It's a PBS program, and it's just what it is. They take some person and they go back in their family history and figure out where they came from and who they were and all those things. But to just sit around and ask, did you ever ask your mom or your dad who their great grandma was, who their aunt and uncle were, where they came from, what they did, and just for a topic of conversation, because it's so stressful figuring out something to talk about. And like you said, Tigger, politics and religion are off the table, even at family gatherings, because that invariably
especially
causes
at
arguments.
family gatherings.
Yeah. So it can give you something to talk about.
Storytelling has been a part of my family's Christmas tradition ever since I was a little kid. So, and now that my mother's 86, we still ask her to tell the same stories.
So cool. You could ask everybody their favorite Christmas memory. Oh, that would be so much fun.
Yeah,
and
that's
she
a good
always
one.
tells this story of going to Chicago for Christmas from the East Coast and being in her pajamas with her sisters and all bundled up together in the car and driven to the train station and get on in the sleeping car, and her parents get them all, my grandparents get them all to bed, and the girls are of course staring out the window, and the parents go off into the club car and drink all night. And then they wake up in the morning and they're in Chicago, and the that there's one Christmas where one of my great uncles spiked the punch bowl. And everyone, they came from church and they would have this Christmas dinner. And people would come from church and stop by and sort of, we're talking about the 30s and 40s, and, have some punch and Merry Christmas and then go on to their houses. And he spiked the punch bowl, and everyone, the day or 2 days after Christmas, reported to my great grandmother, whose house this was, it was the best Christmas party ever. So we hear that story every year.
Yeah, well,
I never get tired of it.
Yeah, that's a great story.
Funny. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's a great story.
So yeah, it's important to, and it's really important for the young ones to hear the stories.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
Good stressors to be avoided.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And good things and good suggestions of what to do, with your family and whatnot during the holidays. If that is a hard thing for you, great ideas. Board games, telling stories, make stories up.
And when all else fails, tell your family your horse has an abscess and you need to go soak his foot.
Yeah, see, that's always my big thing. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening again.
Why is it your horse gets hoof abscesses every Christmas?
Well, I always say, I have a client. You haven't met this one.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's good.
There we go. So if you've got great de-stressing ideas, where should they put them, Tigger?
Oh, they should put them on Healthy Critters Radio Facebook page.
Exactly.
Yes,
put them over on Healthy Critters Radio Facebook page. We'd love to see them and share them with everybody. And now, take it away, Patty.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks to our sponsor, BioStar US. You can find them online at biostarus.com.
Get the Horse Radio Network phone app on iOS or Android by searching for Horse Radio Network in the App Store. It's free and easy to use.
For details about today's show, go to healthycrittersradio.com, where you can find links, photos, and more information about our guests.
As always, we love your feedback. Please follow us on Facebook under Healthy Critters Radio.
Be sure to visit all the great shows on Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com.
Love your dog.
Hug your horse.
Feed your chickens.
Clean your litter box.
Dance with your goat.
Slither with your snakes.
Howl at the moon.
Hang with your hamster.
Party with your parrot.
Waddle with your walrus.
Outwit your otter.
Cuddle your cows.
Rap with your raptor.
Go chipping with your chipmunks.
Forgive your fox.
While hedging your hog.
We also recommend that you rack with your raccoon.
Gyrate with your giraffe.
Meditate with a meerkat.
Uber with your orangutan.
Facebook with your flamingo.
Ponder with your panda.
Walk with your Wookiee.
Yawn with your yak.
Twitter with your toucan.
Go raining with your reindeer.
Dropbox your dragon.